Johnny here. As you can see, the blaster powered Benelli is done. We're out here in a empty warehouse, new warehouse near where I live. Empty, nobody's here on a Saturday. And we're just out here giving it some shakedown runs, working out a few little bugs, and I'll go over it with you and show you some of the little issues I've had to work out. So here we go. First issue I had when I went to fire it up at home, I turned on the gas, loosened up the drain bolt because I wanted to make sure fuel was getting through, and I wasn't getting any fuel. Backtracked to the fuel filter, and the little filter they have in there has a metal end cap. It literally was blocking the intake. So fixed that, took that apart, found a washer that fit in there nice and snug, cut a big section of it out so fuel could flow through that section, through the filter, and on. As soon as I got that fixed, my new on-off valve started leaking. There's a little spring, like a little wavy washer in there that keeps tension. It broke in 3 places, and I noticed it was kind of grindy when I first got it, so I took that apart, replaced it with a little RC body nylon washer. Just went ahead and dremeled it out so it fit in there nice and neat, and it works excellent, doesn't leak, no problems. Once we got those 2 issues figured out, we fired it up. It was hard to fire. Took about 20 kicks once it fired up. Sounded okay, revved okay, you know, nothing crazy revs, just some little throttle blips. Got the idle set, pushed it out of the garage and clicked it in gear, and started to let the clutch out, and we went backwards. Here the motor was running backwards. I had put a Chinese stator in there, 75 watt lighting stator, and of course it's all new stuff, but it's all Chinese. Went online, they were saying flip the ignition coil around, they put it in backwards sometimes. I tried that didn't work. Retarded the timing, because it was basically when the piston came to top dead center, when I was done kicking it, it would fire and drive it backwards because the spark was way too soon. It was way too advanced. So I tried retarding it, even modified the cheap Chinese plate in there to retard it even more. No luck. Every time I started, it ran backwards. I don't think I've done any damage to the motor, but what I ended up doing was I found a brand new stator for 03 to 06. Of course, this is a 96. So, but I think the only difference was they ran the ground from the ignition coil up to the frame rather than grounding it to the stator plate. So I bought that, stuck it in there, and what do you know, it runs the correct way. So, because I did read one little article where a guy had put a Chinese stator on there, his motor ran backwards, he found a Yamaha stator, put it in there, and it ran forward. So it worked. So we're out here just shaking it down today. I think it turned out pretty good. You guys tell me. It's all top end. There is no mid-range to this. Checked the plug once. I want to check it again. I want to go for one more test ride before I call it a day. But everything turned out really good. Transmission's really notchy. I'm not crazy about how the tranny shifts. It's really notchy. But other than that, it actually turned out pretty good. I don't have it street legal yet. I haven't registered or tagged it yet. We're just out here, like I say, in a empty warehouse parking lot here, just breaking it in, testing it out, seeing what shakes loose, what doesn't. Trying to think what else. We ended up putting a battery system in here because the original temp gauge I bought for it, I accidentally bought it in Celsius, which I didn't like anyway. When I did fire it up, when the motor was running backwards, maybe that had something to do with it, but basically it burnt this unit out. So I bought another one, made sure it reads in Fahrenheit. And what I did was we went ahead and floated the ground on the lighting coil, and we added a battery under here. It's actually the battery out of my Yamaha R3. It fit better in there, more snug. So we now have a charging system. It seems to work good. The key, all that does, that just turns on the accessories, lights, and everything else. Has nothing to do with starting. I think what else. I do have one issue I got to work out. When I first started it today, no problem. The second time after running it, I think once, the Kickstarter touches the frame. It kind of jams up a little bit, so we got to go in there and massage the frame a little more. Apparently the motor moved a little bit. I tried loosening mounts and get it to move, couldn't really do that. So apparently the motor, yeah, it just settled a little bit, and I had really close tolerances with this anyway when it swung around. So we just got to make the tolerances a little bit better, and no big deal, we'll work that out. The pipe, did the best I could with the pipe. It's just a raw pipe. I'll keep it in some WD-40, spray it down with some silicone. You see it's starting to blue a little bit up front, which is kind of cool. I don't mind that. Other than that, got some bar end mirrors on there. Still using the stock brakes for now. They seem to work pretty good. I got them bled really good, the front brake. Rear brake, like I say, it's a really short throw. It works. It's just there for emergency purposes. I never use the rear brake. I tried to keep this bike as naked as possible, other than the fairing and the aluminum pieces. But you guys tell me what you think. I have no instrumentation right now, and I don't think I'm going to. I might make a mount just for a cell phone, just to have some speed. I got a speed app on the phone, but I don't think I'm going to worry about attack. I mean, it's a two-stroke. You're not floating valves or anything. I might have to try a different throttle. This is the stock Benelli housing. On-off switch is the only thing that, well, that and the brake light switch does work in here. But the cable was too long, so I had to put a spacer in here. I don't really like that setup, so we might go with a aftermarket motocross throttle, which will have a shorter throw. It twists a little too much for me. I like it a little less rotation on the throttle, and then we'll have to add a on-off switch because this will be eliminated. But there you go. I think it turned out pretty good. I'll try and get a little bit of video of just running up and down the parking lot so you can hear it run. And other than that, it turned out pretty good. I think I want to do one more Benelli motor swap. I want to try putting a big bore motor in, like maybe like a big KTM 500, 525, 520, something like that, or whatever I can find. Maybe even a 450 motocross motor. I like a KTM because they got a ton of torque. They're all torque, so that might be the next and final Benelli project, but that might not be till next winter. We'll see how the funds go. But I think it turned out pretty good. Got a little seat pad on the back there. Exhaust looks pretty sweet. Right now I'm just running some Amsoil Dominator I had at home for my RC stuff. I bought some Klotz oil. I'm going to start running in it. They say that stuff works really well and it smells the best, so we'll give that a try. We got a little crankcase breather on here, just a little Vance Alder little filter I put on there. Something else I forgot to mention, at least I think I forgot it. Just so you know, this is just a stock rebuild. Chinese crank, Chinese top end, because I can't get the Vito's kit right now. It's out of stock. So when that becomes available, we'll go ahead and get that installed, and I'll do another video. That's supposed to double the horsepower, so we'll see. I want to get a little more runtime on the stock motor, gearbox, so forth. But yeah, we're going to upgrade the power. So right now it's just stock Chinese bottom end, Chinese top end power, nothing crazy. I think that's it, guys. That is the end of the Benelli project, blaster project. So tell me what you think, and we'll try and get some run video here. Just be a few minutes of run video just in the parking lot here, but at least you can hear it run. Alright guys, till next time, see ya.